It's time to rock. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first ever channel buzz session. Yeah, you've got it right. We've renamed this famous word of a community hangout or a community hang. We've called it now on this channel, Brad. It's called a buzz session. We're here to celebrate a great album, a great package deal. Brad, we're on the top. I put you and I purposely on the top, brother. You may have noticed that.
Yep.
He needs holding up.
Because our two guys on that bottom layer from Scotland and from the UK are going to hold us up. They're going to give us all the support this show will need.
Yep. The heavyweights downstairs, mate. They're going to look after us, you know.
Oh, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to be here. We've got. If you're familiar with our channel on a regular basis, you'll know Jim. We'll get to Jim soon, but we are always happy to have Jim jump on and join us on some live streams, aren't we, Simon?
We are. Yes, Jim. At last, somebody else from the UK to support me.
Yeah.
And this the war against the Antipodeans.
Yeah. How are you, Jim?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm enjoying. You know, we're winning the war. Obviously, if we're looking at the cricket, I think.
Oh, look at that! Straight in. He's not saying anything, is he, Andrew? He's gone.
No, I'm just people are sending me messages saying what time are we on, and I'm saying we're on now.
Yeah.
We're live now. Sorry about that.
7:45. Yes.
Yeah, we're a little bit late. And it's obvious. Look, one of the reasons why we're a little bit late, guys, we get together in the green room and we make sure that we're at least got a bit of an idea about what we're going to talk about. We want to present something that's a little bit coherent, a little bit entertaining for you guys. Normally, Brad, as everybody knows, we normally go through an album and rank everything and have sort of something to guide us, to keep us fixed. It's like that North Star, Simon, that's so important for navigation, you know. So we're going to rely on the Rock Professor and Jim to guide us. But basically, this stream is about some thoughts, opinions, and general observations and experiences with this wonderful package that came out a couple of days ago. You got your copy there, Simon, to hold up so people can have a look. There it is there, ladies and gentlemen.
Kids, look at that. Cool looking. Yeah. Blue Note-esque. I'm going. Look at that.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the cover. We'll talk, you know, we're interested in all that kind of stuff, aren't we? We'll talk about the package and our opinions and impressions on that. But Brad, what have you been doing over the last couple of days, bro?
Oh, well, you know, I've been recovering from a number of things, and one of them being this damn Rona that's going around. So, unfortunately, yeah, it's but you know, I feel okay other than it being like a bit of a head cold and just very tired. So I've had a lot of time to sit and listen to this, obviously, and you know, when I'm up to it, I've been playing a bit of guitar and catching up with a lot more Netflix stuff than I normally do as well. So and documentaries. So it's been a weird and wonderful time for myself. I you know, without sort of taking self-pity, the last 10 or so weeks have been pretty hard. But you know, I keep fighting and I keep punching and I keep coming out on top. So hopefully by the end of this week and into next week, I'll be feeling a lot better. So
awesome, bro.
Yeah. Hope so. Blimey.
I'd like to do a bit of a shout out, if we could, while I remember, Andrew, to our good friend Warren. We don't know how you are, mate. We'll hopefully hear from you soon. I've still got your EC Stratton storage. I'm going to bust it out soon and dust it off. So if you're watching this, mate, leave us a comment. We'd love to even hear from you, mate. So hopefully you're doing well, Warren. And our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, we haven't heard from him, so thank you for doing that, because was always a big part of our chat, as far as humour, and that's one of the great things, Simon, isn't it, about what we do here, what we present to people. We've always taken a lot of delight and satisfaction that people seem to be jumping in and offering some good advice and some good humour in our chat, Simon.
Always. Always. While I'm here, I'll do a shout out to anybody in the chat who knew Bobby Lopes, who I know was a good friend of Hacks and various other people. Mitch Heyman as well. He died this week, so thoughts and condolences to his family and to everybody who knew him. So yeah,
well done.
Well done. Yeah.
Awesome. And I just want to remind you guys too that we're streaming obviously on our YouTube page and also on 2 Facebook groups that are associated with our channel. All about Eric Clapton. We're streaming on there. We haven't been on that page for a while, and All About the Blues. So if you guys are watching over there, please say hi in the chat. We really appreciate the fact that people from our Facebook group have finally, through a lot of motivation by a few individuals, have decided to jump on board and subscribe to our channel. We invite you, please, if you are watching a replay, that you do subscribe to our channel. But more than that, you go to our community page. Jim's on there. Go and see Jim. Jim has allowed you now. You can put comments on Jim's videos, which is really, really great. So, and
only nice
thank
ones.
you, Jim.
Only nice ones.
Yeah, only nice ones. And we do.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate the kind shout outs that people do, and Jim on his latest video gave our channel a great shout out, so thank you Jim, appreciate it.
Cool.
No competition.
Shall I say good morning to everyone in the chat?
Sounds like an idea.
Yeah, so we said good morning to Tim Thomas first again. Tim, good morning. Ellen as well, good morning Ellen. Gret Zeppelin, Derek as well. I don't know, Derek, if you're here for the whole show. Sometimes you are, sometimes you can. So welcome and thanks for joining in. We've got the 5150 show. Hugh Caldwell, good morning, Hugh. We've got who else has commented? Johnny Heartbreaker, morning, Johnny. Helene O'Hara, good morning, Helene. Crappy Luxury.
Crappy.
Good morning, Crappy. Jazz Thunder 50. Nelson Rodriguez, of course. Good morning, Nelson. Hope you're good.
Thank you, Nelson.
Yeah. John ZD 351. Aha. We meet again. So I think Jimmy Ray Hawkins, Quentin James. Good morning, Quentin. Louisville, Kentucky. Cool. I think that's everybody that we've got so far. So thanks for joining. Good to see you all.
Yeah, no problem. The Rock Professor will do an end shout out later on for everybody, but we do appreciate everybody joining us. Okay, so this is going to be a round table, like I said, and that's been on the channel for a while, guys. Bit of a buzz session. Brad's drawn the short straw to go first with his general observations on what he's heard and seen. So, do you want to kick it off, bro?
I'm more than happy to. Again, I've only had this now for, pretty much just short of a week. So it's always lovely to get something new and fresh to listen to. We're big Clapton nuts here. And anything that Eric Clapton releases officially that's new is always welcome, Eric. So when you're watching this back, please keep releasing new stuff. Even if it is from 95, Even better if it's from 24 Nights, Albert Hall, any of those sort of gigs that you want to do, release them, bring them on, mate, bring them on. I'm not going to say anything negative at all because I'm just quite happy that we do have something new to sink our listening ears and teeth into, I guess, to put it that way. I do feel like maybe listening to this, you probably need to visualize what's going on as well. I ordered the DVD the same time I ordered the CD. It still hasn't arrived, so I can't give a analysis or whatever on the DVD watching it, because listening to it, there's a lot going on musically, and I think you would absorb a lot more watching the visual to it. This is the very first time that I've ever had a CD of a live performance before the DVD. Normally I've had the VHS or the DVD first, and then I've bought the CD later. So I know what it looks like in my head, and I'm listening to it. And so it's hard
He's so
to...
young, isn't he? He's
Yes.
so young. Yes, in the
No,
days when you bought Cream Live and DVD wasn't even invented.
No, VHS, Simon, I did mention VHS. I did mention it.
See,
but
thing of the future, work of the devil.
That's it.
VHS.
But from what I can hear, I can hear Eric in his element. He loves the blues. He's telling the story. He was documenting it. His playing is fantastic. His vocals are outstanding, in my opinion. I love Eric when he really gives a good push with his vocal, and there's some really delicate stuff he's doing. And then there's some stuff, and I love that stuff he does where he gets that growl going and really pushes. And I love his vocal on the whole CD. You know, his band's cooking. You know, I've got preferences to who he's played with in the past and present and stuff like that, but it's a timestamp. We've got to remember this is a timestamp. This is Eric, you know, going back to the blues, honoring the blues, because he was playing with it he was playing the blues for so long. And he, obviously for him, the way I see it, this was meant to be a documentary, if I'm not wrong or right, or
yeah,
I believe it was meant to be a documentary, and it's taken a long time for them to finally release it. But I'm glad it finally has seen the light of day. I love hearing Eric play a 3-5-5 as well. I'll mention that. I love hearing him play a Strat as well, but I love hearing him venture out a little bit away from the normal Clapton that we know and love so much as well, because it actually inspires me. Listening to this has inspired me to want to go buy a Gibson 355, yeah, or an Epiphone version of it or something, just to get that tonality so I can play along with it and have fun. I'm hesitant to give a ranking of the album as such, and I believe we will be doing that further down the track once we've had a bit of time to absorb what's going on. But yeah, sorry, Crappy Electric just corrected me. 335, yes. I said 355. My apologies, mate. I'm battling Rona, so my brain's a bit fuzzy at the moment. And Andrew twisted my arm to get me on here today. No, he didn't. I'm joking. He sent his heavies around and told them that I had to be on today. 100% do or die. So yeah, to go back to this album, I'm quite grateful that it's been released, and well done, Eric, for finally giving the fans something that we want. You know, we want more from Eric in his past, and hopefully in the future we hear more live stuff, because some of the stuff I've seen on YouTube of him playing lately has been quite exceptional, you know, quite good. So yeah, for a man of his age and the problems he's had health-wise and everything, he's doing an amazing job. But more importantly, this is what we're talking about. So I encourage everyone to at least listen to it on Spotify if you haven't already purchased it, and listen with open ears. Try not to expect it to be like 24 Nights or Cream Reunion, or don't try to put it in a box already. Like let it be its own thing. And I think, the more we get to listen to them, the EQ, the mix, and everything like that, is still, I'm still getting used to it at the moment. I'm not quite sure what to think of it EQ wise, and the mix of the vocals as opposed to the music. The one thing I will say is this: the band is very busy. At times, maybe a little bit too much. But that's why I say visually, it's probably more important to watch the DVD because it will make more sense.
Correct.
But that's my analysis, Andrew.
Yeah, I've got to back up what Brad said, and I've got some questions, obviously, that we're going to throw out there, but I'm going to hold my questions, and I'm sure the other co-hosts here have other questions too that they want to throw around. If you guys in the chat have any opinions on anything that you've heard or seen in relation to this package, please share them with us in the comments. Jim, we know that you are the Claptonist nuttist, probably out of the four of us. We'll give you that title with distinction, actually. With well, certainly with distinction. Can't hear the rock professor. What's the rock professor doing?
Sorry, I'm muted. I was just going to say it's from the Greek, Claptonus nutterness.
Yeah. Well, you know how we like to invent words on this
that's very good
channel. That's what we do. Jim, following on from that wonderful introduction about Brad's opinions on this package, you've got a bit more to share with us, I'm sure. Please give us your opinion.
Yeah, well, I think Brad's comments from an early kind of review of it is, and only having it for a little while, are very good actually. But for me, it's not really a new experience when this arrived, because like some people that are in the chat there commenting kind of saw it when it was screened, the film documentary in 1994 in America, and there were a few bootleg VHS tapes circulating. I happened to get one of those. I won't be selling it on eBay. And so I've listened to this music for quite a long time. And I really enjoyed the documentary when it came out. It's a Scorsese made one, and it's in this collection. And you get to see Eric talking about what blues meant to him, alongside hearing from some of the original artists that played the music, B.B. King and Buddy Guy and such like. So for me, it's great that documentary encapsulated in it kind of clips from Eric playing the songs live, and it was club shows. So the people that were lucky to get a ticket for this, there was the whole kind of blues tour that he took on in 1994 in America, and 95 in Europe and the rest of the world. But in America, they were very lucky because he also scheduled, small club shows in New York, and this one was filmed at the Fillmore West in San Francisco. So you've got it's a very visceral experience there. The playing, Eric's performance, in my view, is outstanding. His guitar, he's really tearing at it. He's worked back up to the blues, and in terms of his playing. Probably not as well recorded as 24 Nights in many ways. I can see there's been a bit of chat about that on some of the kind of Facebook groups and stuff. Eric's played blues shows during the 24 Nights in 1990 and 91, and they were slightly mannered. It was a very different, it was very clean and very good performances, but he was in his Armani suits, and he was he had his people around him. But this was a slightly shift of gear into kind of more kind of raw performance, and he took this on the road for a couple of years. I was lucky enough to to see the show in Glasgow. Interestingly, at that point, for the European tour, I think Eric was dissatisfied with the drummer Andy Newmark, and by the time he got to Europe, Steve Gadd was filling the drum chair, and
Correct.
the rest of the tour. And Steve Gadd then had, has had, pretty much he's had a great tenure with Eric. So fantastic thing for me. So I think there's some great performances in this. 2 disappointments for me on the LP and the CD. They removed the final song of the set he did was Bessie Smith's Ain't Nobody's Business, with the piano playing just, and then him singing, and then playing guitar with the band comes in for the kind of outro. That was a highlight for me because it just finished off the concerts. He sang that with power and passion. It's on the DVD, the Blu-ray, and it's great to see, but it's not on the record and it's not on the CD. Tell me why. The other one was Drifting is on the Blu-ray and DVD as a bonus track, and they've cut it really badly because it's Eric's playing that thing where he goes through, take it to G, take it to A, take it to C, goes through the whole thing, and he makes a little mistake in the performance, and they've decided obviously to cut that out, and it's like whiplash when that happens because I'm kind of familiar with the original. So it's a strange thing to do. On the record, because they've taken Ain't Nobody's Business off, they put County Jail on at the end, which is, it sort of kind of finishes the LP listening experience in a very flat way. So that's my thing. I just think it's great. I wanted this to come out. I've been sort of campaigning along with other people. So why hasn't this been released? So Crappy Luxury had said that in the comments, and I was one of those saying, this is crazy, this has got to come out. It documents an important period in Eric's career where he revisited the blues after dabbling in and out of it, all sorts of different things, and for me it was wonderful to hear. So I'm just going to finish off Andrew's. I've got the deluxe box set, and Andrew wanted me to show you a little bit of the package. There's a poster I've put on the wall there. You can maybe just see behind me. There's a couple actually, isn't it, out of the way. So I just stuck them in frames because they're actually quite nice. You get a kind of book which has got the lyrics and some pretty nice photographs in here. They're not just the same ones that are in the booklet, but it's a nice little book to have. There's a kind of double vinyl, which, as I say, missing the track that I think should be on it. You get the Blu-ray. They all kind of look the same, but you get a set of acoustic guitar strings, Martin ones, and these are the guitar picks there that come with it as well. So I think that that kind of covers the box set material. So don't know if you want me to say any more, Andy. I think that's probably enough.
I think we'll roll on to the Rock Professor and get his impressions and thoughts on what he's heard and seen, if that's okay, and then we can sort of throw some questions out. Derek, we'll get to your question. I think your question here, we've got some opinions on that, so we'll answer that in our the general chat, because it's a key question. Thank you, Simon, Rock Professor.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much coming to this as you'd expect, cold, without really. I may have seen the Martin Scorsese thing in a dimmer distance, but I have no particular memory of it. So I've been, which I like this a lot. So just turn up and put it on fresh, and like no preconceptions. I'm not reading any reviews about it particularly. Just put it in the CD player. What have I got? What am I confronted with? And I've been playing in the car as well and kind of driving around. I have to say, it sounds fantastic on my stereo. It sounds really good on my proper, I've got a separate stereo with massive Kef speakers. You crank that to halfway, it sounds brilliant. It sounds fantastic. The instruments are very integrated together, but you could hear them all. You can, I think I think and I played it in the car, I get a slightly different experience than that. It's the car, my car stereo is all right, but it doesn't sound as good in the car as it does in my car stereo. I don't know. I've not sort of done it on any. I haven't got any cheaper stereos to play it on anymore. But I mean, I haven't. I don't know if anyone else has kind of played it on sort of not the big separates. But yeah, on the big speakers with the big sound, it sounds really good. And so my first impression, this sounds great. My second impression is that it's a very integrated sound. The band, it's this big sound. There's a lot of people, horns, two guitars, bass drums, and and it sounds fantastic. I think from my point of view. I mean, I saw Mike also comment and stuff. Clearly, you must have a duff copy of it, but something. But yeah, as I said, I just took it as read, and very kind of. I think there is a thing about it being a very sort of now production, and I think that we've got to take that into account. That I think if you'd mixed it in the 90s, you would have done it differently to way that they've mixed it now, for sure. I don't know if there are any. I know nothing about any recording issues and stuff like that. I would say that. So having got into it, I think Eric is in a good place on this record, isn't he? He absolutely is. He says at one point, doesn't he? I hope I'm enjoying myself. It's like it's a statement. I hope you are too. It's like I'm in my happy place. I'm doing what he's born to do, which is play blues.
Yep.
And he's really, really great at it as a musician. So that was my second impression. Is he's in a good place and he's playing his heart out. I think he's in contrast to Another Ticket that we did last week, 2 weeks ago. The singing, Brad, I'll back you up on that. I think he's singing really well in this. It's powerful, it's emotional, it's and I think that having done Another Ticket a week ago, you've got a tremendous comparison between that kind of much more tentative vocal on Another Ticket, and I know what I'm doing. I know I can do it, sing really well, and he's really going for it on the singing, and I think that's it's one of the major things in the blues, isn't it? You've got to go for it. You've got to sing it. Otherwise, it just becomes a bit kind of, it doesn't really work as a genre. It's the third thing that struck me about it, having listened to it a few times, and I think the individual performances. I think I think he plays really well. I think he's his guitar playing's on top form. I love the fact he's playing a 3-3-5. By the way, Brad, you can buy a 3-5-5, so it's up to you.
3-5-5.
They look the same to me. I can, but well done. Mr. Waltons. I've already got one. tell them I've already got one. Yes, thank you. So I love. Yes, we know. Yes. Oh dear. So I love the fact that the 3-3-5 and the Fender, and I like the fact that even I can tell which is which as well, because it's that's really cool. And I think that's that my impression of the of the sound of the mixing is like I can tell which guitar he's playing. It can't be that bad, As I say, it's very good. So I think that's really cool. That he plays the 3-2-5. I think he's got that sound. I'd say the guitar sound I really like. I don't know what was he playing through a Blues Deluxe or something? I can't remember. Brad, you'll probably know this, but my memory is
he had his tweeds, those Bradshaw tweeds.
Yeah.
So I think the sound. I think the sound. I know. Well, you said that he replaced Andy Newmark on the drum with Steve Gadd. I mean, that is replacing, yes. If I want to be replaced by anybody, Steve Gadd would be, that's a step up. But I thought he did a fine job, Andy. I thought the drumming was really fine on it. I don't think, I didn't think to myself, what is he doing? I don't know Brad, what you thought of it, but as I say, I thought it was fine. I thought he did really well. The band really hot. Yeah, I thought the band was really hot, and and backing him up and giving him what he needed to do. as I got into listening to a bit more, you notice things, don't you? Notice things. So the thing I noticed is it's not in order, is it? It's not in concert order by a country mile. And I think one of the things that struck me is that I don't know why, after, is it Motherless Children, he says good evening, and you go, we're 8 songs in. Why is he saying good? It's a bit odd. And then you go back and you look at the set list, you go, oh, right, he opened with it. That's why he says good evening. And I did think to myself, I'm not quite sure why you left in the stage announcements if they don't really fit with the flow of the CD you're presenting.
Can I just butt in, Simon?
You butt away.
When I saw Clapton back in 2006 with my dad, he didn't address the crowd until about the 10th song in.
Correct.
Yeah.
He did,
And then he
the
goes,
same thing. And yep.
Good evening, everyone. So for me to listen to it kind of felt like that's the normal for Clapton. But in a sense, I agree with you. It's like when listening to the record, you're like, hang on, is he just addressing the crowd now? But I know when I saw him, the few times I've managed to see Clapton live, he's not a big crowd interactive sort of person. He
don't know.
He doesn't really address. He addresses the crowd once or twice in a gig, and that's it. That's the best you get.
No, that's fine. And that's fine. I have no issues with that. I think the other thing that struck me is he says, was it after he says before he does hold on, I should consult the before he does Standing Around Crying, he says here's a couple of Muddy Waters songs, and then you only get one. What happened to the other one? Where did it go?
They should have probably kept the studio. I mean, the chat out of it. I agree.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you say, with the bit of it, you need to edit. I mean, I don't mean editing, but it just edit those things out. They just seem a bit like, like you. Not there's an expectation being set, but you're going, here's a couple of Muddy Waters songs. Then you only play one. You go,
where's the other one?
I know he played the other one. Hoochie Coochie Man. Jim, go on. You want to say something?
Yeah, it just the release follows the kind of documentary and the placement of the songs in the documentary, not the concert.
Right.
So that is thing, and I think early in the morning, I mean, they miss out the whole. It just cuts in after verse 1, so you're not even getting the full song there.
Does it? Is it?
Yeah,
I didn't notice that, but
that's on the second verse, and that song, if you hear the full performance of it, there's quite an extended kind of intro. With guitar and harmonica, and then he goes in, sings the first verse. This starts right at the start of the second verse. So they've obviously not bothered to go back, and they must have recorded the whole songs. And there are versions of these concerts that have the full thing. So, but I mean, I think it's a bit distracting to listen to, the placement, but it makes sense in the film. Doesn't necessarily make as much sense in the audio presentation. Thanks.
No, absolutely. And as I say, I just thought that in a way, that attention to detail, clearly the sound, has been, they've made a lot of attention to detail to the sound, but I think, as I say, not to just remove those things if they don't actually I don't mind if he says good evening and 5 songs, 6 songs in, or whatever it is, that's fine. 8, 9, so that's fine. If that's what he normally kind of did, that's a standard thing. Sounds like Instagram. But to have, as I say, that I think it says, here's a couple of Muddy Waters songs, and it just seems a bit, I don't know, lacking in attention to detail. That eventually you go, he starts to notice a little bit about how it goes. I think that So I personally, I think if you put a set together. The concert, in a concert you have a kind of flow and an ebb and and you have and you kind of, whereas this, clearly the CD's just been put together in a different running order to the way he played it live. I think I'm thankful that they put the 2 acoustic guitar numbers together still, and didn't split them up. So at least it feels like he did an acoustic section. And I think that's good, but clearly he was starting off with them to in the actual live gigs, and I think if you've got a running order and that running order works in a live situation, I'm not sure why they've differed quite a lot from the from that running order to put the CD together.
I'll be honest
Having
with you,
said that,
Simon,
I think it's really good.
I had to double check a couple of times that my CD was playing in the right order because, because of the exact reasons that you've just described.
Yeah, it's they. Yeah, I mean, yes, they kind of just moved things around quite a bit, and yes, as I say, I found a bit odd, really. So I think those are my thoughts right now, Andrew.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that come to my mind. Obviously, like everybody here and everyone in the chat, we're celebrating the fact that this unreleased package finally received an official release, because it gained cult status, didn't it, over the years, getting the VHS copies of the gig and then, watching them, and then getting, taped and CD'd copies of what was on the VHS for a long time for a lot of us. And then when YouTube started, we started getting uploads of it, of this gig, and it was always something I think that Clapton fans reverted back to. It was like a holy grail, Jim, for a lot of us. It was like it was a wellspring. It was like a nod to whether or not are you really a Clapton fan? Do you know anything about this package? About this film, because the film, gained, like a lot of things, like a lot of key things, it gained cult status, a mythic status, didn't it, Brad? When people started talking about, well, in the film, Clapton is talking about his inspirations. He's talking about Muddy Waters and what these guys meant to him, and they were giving like a synopsis of the history of Chicago blues, and then goes back to the Delta blues and what that meant for Clapton. And obviously, I've seen the DVD. I'm looking forward to my co-hosts and I coming back with everybody to rank the DVD, because Brad at the top of the show said that it's a visual thing, he thinks. And I have to agree with Brad. I think the CD is wonderful. The record is wonderful. As the Rock Professor said, it's recorded wonderfully, in my opinion. And we might get Michael on, who's offered in-depth analysis from a modern-day mixing engineering perspective on track by track, which is in itself fascinating. But one thing that struck me about this over everything else that I heard, and there was a bit of a debate about this with the Layla album. Remember how Bobby Whitlock was a little bit concerned that Clapton's guitar was pushed forward in the mix as opposed to all the other instruments, which shouldn't have happened, because they were a band and they did that just to edge it, just to give it some Claptonism. And they certainly have, in my opinion, done that with this with Clapton's guitar, because when I bought the CD and stuck it in my vehicle and just drove off, it just blew me away. Brad, I was hearing something that I hadn't heard in all the previous recordings that I'd listened to. So I was excited. I just about, ran through 5 red lights and, and ran over ran over people, in excitement, but I didn't. From that perspective, I'm happy. When you watch the DVD, though, the DVD in itself is fascinating. You said it, Simon. It's going to go down, in my opinion, as a really, really important visual document. There's 2 visual documents, the Winwood Clapton thing that they did in 2008, that recording and that film of Clapton playing, and the way that they've done it is it's near perfection. This is pretty good, because you're getting that kind of vibe. You're seeing what Clapton's doing. He's bringing out these Gibson jazz boxes and he's playing slide on on this big. It's not a birdland, I don't think. It might be a birdland, I don't know. And it's just phenomenal. I have to agree with also what Jim said. Those manicured blues gigs that he was doing around that 24 Nights era, they were fantastic, but they were manicured. He had the Armani suit. You know, everything was correct. Everything was right. Everything was perfect. You go and watch this Simon. He's sweating. He's wearing a T-shirt. I think Alan said it in the chat earlier. He looks like he was wearing clothes from a jumble sale. And you know, and clearly he's up there. yeah, and sweating, and you know, and I'm just going, wow,
hobo chic.
Yeah. But certainly a wonderful visual document that backs up, in my opinion, the recordings. And one other thing before I toss it back to my co-hosts, doesn't it dovetail well with From the Cradle? You know, you got From the Cradle. You go and listen to From the Cradle, which is recorded live in the studio, and we've ranked that on this channel, guys, if you haven't seen that. And if you're watching a replay, we'll attach that somewhere on this video. And then you get this package, Jim, with the, you know, Clapton. So there's no, what's the word, juxtaposition between the two. It's just like this dovetail, the seamless continuity, which I love. And then you get it backed up by this tight band in this visual stage presentation. Brad, it's powerful, bro. I think when you get the DVD and you watch and I know you're a Clapton nut, you're going to go, wow.
I will note I have got on VHS cassette somewhere the original documentary that came out. I have got it. I haven't seen it probably, I don't know, when my last time I had my VHS player going would have been nearly 15 years ago. So it has been a very, very long time, and my brain has pushed a lot of that stuff out from the past, unfortunately. So I would love to see it again. If I could get a VHS player and I could upload it to YouTube, that would be even better. But what I'm getting at is visually, I think it would make more sense to listen to this than if you're going in fresh and you're first listening to the CD without any recollection of any of this going on in the past. There's a lot going on musically. I think that I agree with you, Andrew. The mix sounds great, but there's certain elements of it that I agree with Michael as well. I read some of his assumption where I don't have the distortion errors or anything like that in my version, but sometimes the cymbals are too loud. Sometimes there's certain things where the EQ, and it's an EQ thing, I think. It's not a levels thing. There's a certain amount of compression on when they master stuff these days. I don't know whether
I don't know, bro, and I think it's fascinating, and sorry for interrupting you, and I'll get you to continue, but I think from what they're doing when I listen to the vinyl, I'm getting a real sense of I'm in the middle of the band when I hear this.
What I was about to say is the vinyl might sound better because what I'm assuming they've done because when for people who don't understand, when you do a recording, it gets mixed and then it gets mastered. Okay. So once it's mastered, they'll master it for radio. They'll master it for CD. You'll get MP3 versions mastered for Spotify, which is not as good a quality as CD.
Yep.
And then LP or vinyl needs to be mastered a certain way as well.
Okay.
I'm no expert at this, but I've been part of this whole process with my own recordings in the past. And I know that if I was to release vinyl, for example, of my last recording, I would probably need to get it remastered for vinyl.
Okay.
And the way that so maybe their focus on this project was to get the vinyl sounding like you are in the middle of the band, Andrew, and it doesn't represent as well on CD, maybe. And
I think you've hit the nail on the head.
And I have read things about Jimmy Page talking about Zeppelin mixes that when he went to CD, he was horrified because they were mixed and mastered for vinyl.
And that's why he went and redid them, didn't he? Yeah.
And still to this day, he still thinks that mixes always sound better on vinyl. Because I'm a more modern person, there is different types of audio that sound better than vinyl to me. But vinyl, I'm not sure with this project whether they separated the mix for CD as to vinyl and DVD, Blu-ray, because that's a lot of money and a lot of work to do that. So maybe for me, there's certain elements of the mix, EQ wise, that probably are mastering issues, not necessarily level issues. Maybe I think they're more mastering, because you can make certain things louder through an EQ peak or pulling it out through an EQ pull, so you can lull it or push it harder in the EQ. And I'm not an expert, so I don't know how to explain this properly, but I've seen it being done, even on my own recordings. I remember listening back to one of my mixes from my EP that I did a little while ago, and say my vocal's not loud enough there in the mix. You've got to push it in the mix. He goes, no. It's loud enough in the mix. We've just got to fix it in the mastering, and fix it in the mastering. And this is why you've got to pay good money to get stuff mastered properly. There's a big discrepancy of why people feel like when they get a mixed product, say, this has been mixed, and Eric Clapton listens to the mix and goes, that sounds mint. I like that. Let's just release that. No, it's got to be mastered though, Eric. We've got to put it on vinyl. It needs to be mastered for vinyl. But I don't want it mastered. I don't want it touched. That's how I like it. That's a lot of artists don't want to master their product because they want to put it out as they've heard it through the final mix. And I have heard artists put unmastered stuff on Spotify and it sounds horrible.
Correct.
Because they haven't gone through the process, and that's why.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not picking on the people. I'm just saying that maybe there was some confusion in the mixing and mastering, and maybe there's just certain elements like there's one cymbal in particular that the drummer hits that washes out everyone when he hits it.
Really? I never noticed that at all, Brad. I never noticed that at all. I don't listen to it the same way, clearly. Clothy. Did you notice this, Jim? Did you?
I've not. To be honest with you, I've not listened. I've just listened to the vinyl. I've not listened to the Tom Michael's comments, and I haven't listened to the CD yet. I've seen the DVD, the Blu-ray. I think it sounds pretty good. I haven't listened to the CD. I do think though, sometimes. This is Chicago blues, and when the original versions were recorded, there's probably one mic in the room taping everyone, So I think there's something about trying to capture some authenticity and the visceral nature of the kind of performances. So, maybe they didn't want it to be too pretty, but yeah, I think it's out there for people to buy, and if they don't like it, I think I saw somebody make a comment on the back of Michael's, and it was like, if you give it to 10 different mastering and mixing engineers, you get 10 different versions. Always the way you might have picked the wrong people to do this, and it maybe could have been done differently. But I definitely agree about Spotify and the mixes on there sometimes. The mastering process, it costs a lot of money to get a track mastered properly. 100%. People can mix it to your tastes, but things do get fixed in the mastering, and people like Bernie Gunderman and people like that, made an art of it. They've made the best kind of records. Stan Ricker and people, it's an art, isn't it, Brad, to get that done properly?
100%. I have heard one comment though I don't know who said it or read it on one of the Clapton forums. I think I can't remember who it was, but there was something said about, and I will say here, I think Derek Clapton brought it up before about the recording issues for, what was it? Did the recording issues explain why this wasn't released at the time? That could be a very valid thing, and I'm glad you brought that up, Andrew, to bring it back, because that comment, because in my opinion, if they've had recording issues from the very start, you can't undo that. It's like that whole comment of you can't polish a turd. Sorry to say it like that. I'm not saying that this product is a turd, but if the recording is that's the best they've got, you can't undo mistakes with the recording. It's there forever. Yeah, it's like that's what they've got to work with. So the package we've got, I think we should just be grateful that it does sound as good as it does. The little imperfections here and there, you know, like it or lump it, I think they would have mixed and mastered for Blu-ray and vinyl would have been the most important. And then CD, maybe we're hearing Spotify mixes on the CD. I don't know.
And that's really kind of really interesting. I'll go away after this and listen to the CD version of it, and there could well be some kind of problem or misjudgment there that's happened in that process. Yeah.
It's
but I love it anyway. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it, guys. I love it. I'm super critical of mixes of everything anyway. So, there is a lot going on in this band. There's a lot of instrumentation. So there's a lot of sonics going on in every single song except the acoustic songs.
Yeah. I think what I did hear was that I think the concern was the drummer, actually. I've heard that been said before, that the reason Eric Clapton didn't want it released was he wasn't happy with the drumming on these.
What was the matter with him? What's the matter with Andy Newmark?
Ahead of the beat. He was ahead of the beat, and didn't have that swing that was clearly really important. And it's really interesting, guys. If you go and watch, okay, so if you see the DVD and watch the guy drumming, he's going for it. What's his name?
Andy Newmark.
Correct. So I'm very familiar with what Jim has just said. About the criticism that the management and Clapton had with the percussion side of things, and for 20 years of hearing about that and having that in the back of your mind, Brad, you go and sit and watch it, you're thinking, you can see perhaps where he might be coming from. But, I don't want to be super critical of the guy because, it's not what we do here. But you can visualize perhaps the criticism that they had, Jim. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. I think I don't know if I've still got it, but when he played the shows in San Francisco before those club shows, there was a kind of a review, I think, in Q magazine at the end, just a very short review. And somebody had said, that sounded fantastic. And they said that, I think Eric had said he wasn't totally happy with it. And I don't think it expanded on that. I'll see if I've still got that, and I'll see if I can post that somewhere. But
and there was also some rumors early on too about his vocals. They weren't. I think some of the way that the mic was set up, Brad. There were some issues with the way that Clapton's vocals had come across. So the guy's always going to be super critical about his vocals, isn't he, Simon?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at Andy Newmark now. I mean, he's played with everybody. John Lennon, correct. Double Fantasy.
He's a rock and roll
Roxy
drummer.
Music. Well, Roxy Music, Avalon is that's quite a sort of calm. It's not blues, but so I don't know. Yeah, they played a Pink Floyd's The Final Cut. Roger Waters. He definitely played a lot of rock stuff for sure. David Gilmour. I can't imagine.
Good point, Derek.
Playing with so many people that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe got a bit overexcited in the. but these things are about Eric, aren't they? They're not about, they are about what Eric thinks of it, and Eric feel, having played with lots of drummers, great drummers, Ginger Baker and co, maybe he just didn't feel that Andy Newmark just was quite hitting the spot in the way that he, that he would have wanted him to, interestingly. So probably a
It's
perception
funny
thing more than anything
though.
else.
You would think it would show in a rehearsal, and I agree with that. But in a live scenario, some people play different to how they rehearse as well. So,
I thought Andy Newmark was good enough. He's played with everybody, Flying the Family Stone. That he'd be able to. Eric would be able to say to him, "Play, can you drop back a bit on the beat?" And Andy Newmark, I'm surprised by that. Maybe he didn't say anything. I just didn't think it. Just didn't like it.
Yeah.
There's there's a film on YouTube of the rehearsals for this tour, and it sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty good to me when I heard it. And irrespective of all these kind of criticisms and things, I'm still going to listen to this many times. I'm really glad I've got it, and I'm glad it is released. And I just love every time if you can get something with Eric Clapton playing the blues with that intensity. It's a pretty good thing from where I sit anyway. So
100%. And that's where I was trying to say at the very start. I'm not going to be negative. I think it's a wonderful package, and we should be grateful we've got it. And thank you, Eric, for releasing it finally, properly. You know what I mean? So if that's the best we can get it, then that's great. If that's the best he can do with it at this point, fantastic. Let's hear more. Let's hear more stuff. Bring back more from the past and put it out there. More 24 nights. I mean, you can't tell me there's different footage on MTV of 24 Nights as to what, he released. And that surely he's got more footage and more visual and more audio from those periods that we could hear. So if this is the stepping stone and he's going to go backwards and start re-releasing stuff and remastering and putting stuff out there, bring it on. We're not being stuffy nosed and putting, we're not putting any negativity out there towards the product at all. We're just being discussing it.
Derek's comment there about Eric not having competition on this package, I think, is a fantastic comment, because you see him unleash with that band behind him in this package, and I think it's I'm sure Derek is Eric, and it's certainly something that strikes my mind. And Brad, when you get to watch the DVD and we come back and rank the tracks, I'll be keen as mustard to hear what you have to say, because the guy is basically. It's phenomenal. You see him lock in. He closes his eyes many times, and he's just playing that guitar. It's just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. It's a great package.
You can certainly tell that Eric's on fire, and this whole era for him was, a real strong period for Eric as a guitar player, but more so as an all-round musician, a singer, an artist. He was pushing himself as a total front package vocalist guitar player. That it wasn't just focused on the guitarist Eric Clapton that sung a bit. He was focused on his vocals are sensational. Some of the strongest vocals, we've had from Eric. 24 Nights and this era, even into the early 2000s, were some of his greatest vocal moments, in my opinion.
Yeah, and not a lot of backup vocals there as well. One real treat for me too, guys, in this package was the harp player,
Jerry Portnoy.
The way that he comes in and off stage, the way that his instrument just weaves in and weaves out of this production, it's just it just takes it to another level. Again, it's just a phenomenal addition to the package. And again, it links back to everything that we heard on From the Cradle, Brad. It's just fantastic.
Excuse me. That From the Cradle record, I mean, I still listen to that regularly. It's sensational.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think there was another way they could have gone with this, which was, I think I was talking to somebody at the last concerts I was at, who was saying, well, they were a bit disappointed about it coming out in this way, the release, because they thought, well, what they'll probably do is release From the Cradle again, but with added material to it as a kind of package. So that would have been a different route to go. But to be honest, I'm quite happy with this. And I think new campaigns, it would be great to get expanded stuff from 24 Nights. There are, there's the orchestra nights in film, probably whole blues nights, and the 13-piece band and 4-piece bands. There's heaps of material to look at, and some of that stuff is on YouTube at the moment, as you say, Brad, and from the 1990 shows. So, I probably there'll be more legacy stuff to come. I mean, Bob Dylan's made a big deal out of that over the years with his bootleg series releases. So maybe we'll get more from Eric looking back, which would be great, I think.
And Neil Young's releasing a album every week now. He has for the last 10 years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And
Bruce Springsteen has.
That comment you've got up from Derek Clapton at the moment is exactly really, what we've analysed a few things here, but what's most important is the music, and just to listen to it rather than analyse it. I mean, that's what music is meant to be. In go and watch a band, like you can see the people analysing. They're usually standing at the back of the room where their arms crossed like this. And then you can see the people with their arms up, like enjoying, or and that's what that's what music is meant to be. It's meant to be enjoyed and listened to and enjoyed rather than analysed. Have
you got the album there, Jim? Handy? Can you hold it up?
The LP.
The LP, please, because I'm gonna present Jim. So what do you guys think there of that cover? And Jim's going to show the back and open it up for us. So you got your cover there. You've got a still from the gig there, and again a still from the gig, and that's replicated in the CD too, isn't it, Brad and Simon? It's replicated in the CD as well, and also sort of in the DVD as well. That still. What do you think, Jim, of that cover? What does it? What do you think?
I really like the photograph on the front. I don't think that's from the show at the Fillmore. He's obviously dressed differently. So this is from the Fillmore, I think, and this is obviously another part on the tour. But it's I mean, I don't think that particularly matters. I think it's kind of, Simon said at the start, there's a bit of a Blue Note look to this. That kind of stylistic kind of approach to it. So I think it's quite a nice package. The that's probably all I'd say about it. I think reasonable artwork. I don't think they've put years into working on that. I think it's probably been put together fairly quickly.
Well, we all know that Brad's going to go out tomorrow and get a Gibson or an Epiphone. But do you want to give us, bro, a bit of a rundown on your impressions of the artwork of the cover, and how do you rate it?
Oh, look, it's a classic picture. To be honest with you, I mean that whole look. It's great to see Clapton playing something other than a Stratocaster. I love his. I'm not dissing the Strat. I love it, but it just goes to show that he was an all-rounded musician, trying to just get the tones right. And if it didn't come out of his signature guitar, he thought, "I'll just go play it something different." And I love that they featured that on the front of the cover, which is great. So the pictures themselves are there's quite a good little booklet in there. It's like the old days when I used to go buy a CD from the city, and I sit in the train half an hour on the way home and read all the.
Do you want to hold it up, bro? Do you want to hold it up and flick through it? Do you want to hold that up and flick? Yeah.
all the liner notes. I mean, I don't know if you guys can. You won't be able to read it,
Yeah.
obviously, but so these are the things that I used to love about a CD, and obviously LP owners probably even more so love this sort of thing. The CDs would be full of all this candy, and they like we show some pictures here on our program when we're ranking tracks and that. It sets a mood. You understand. Jim mentioned about the classic leg pose there. The little back picture on the inner sleeve, and then obviously a live shot with all those songs and as well. That's what I like about buying a CD or an LP. I like the candy that you get with the stuff. I think it makes for the whole experience. I sit there listening to it and reading and looking through the cover, and I think the cover, the artwork looks good. I think the font they used is good. I think maybe they've tried to understate it, which is good.
Yeah.
Any album cover that's got a cool picture of Clapton on it, in my opinion, is good album cover. So there you go.
Rock Professor, you got some thoughts and opinions on the art, the package?
I have, yeah. Well, as Jim said, I'm stealing my thunder. I mean, I'll just show this because it'll give you some idea of what I'm talking about. This is a Sonny Rollins. You see, to me that's really similar. Correct. Kind of, so with two different colors on the font. Guy on his own with his instrument and things. That it's a classic Blue Note cover, and that struck me straight away when I saw it. I went, oh yeah, look, they've gone for that classic
Eric,
kind of.
Was that Eric ringing you to remind you to talk about that, to mention that?
Yeah. I don't know who it was, but so I think that clearly that's done in the studio, isn't it? That's not part of the studio. Yeah. They've gone in the studio and they've taken a shot and or some shots and produced it. So I think they're going for that kind of class, jazz blues, Blue Note vibe, which I think is cool vibe. As I say, he's wearing a suit on the front, very kind of Blue Note as well. Looking serious. I mean, I think clearly that's what they're going for on this. And the inside stuff. So that's what struck me about the cover. I think the cover's fine. I think it's
and the blue fits into the From the Cradle cover blues too, which is blue as well, isn't it? So they're continuing. Yeah.
Red name.
The From the Cradle era, there's continuation a little bit, in my opinion. The clothing, the whole thing. I mean, his swag, what he was wearing, made fun of the clothing before, but like those T-shirts he used to wear were like probably nearly $200 Australian. So, I never bought one because I couldn't afford it. I was a kid, But the pants, the shoes, the whole bit were
Timberland boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a whole era for him of embracing the blues and I guess maybe that was him going back to his roots and also giving back a little bit.
Yeah. That's exactly what I feel about it. Is you go from the suits, the kind of smooth 80s, to the much more back to your roots, back to basics kind of. So you wear T-shirts and Timberlands, and gives a different kind of.
It's so much better than 24 Nights cover. The 24 Nights music and the DVD, we love that, but the cover is, that what is it?
Yeah,
abstract artwork is. It's a. Sorry, Michael.
Hey, Andrew.
Honestly,
I personally think every single Eric Clapton album should have this on the cover.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, regardless,
that's the best picture.
I agree. I've got something. I've got a T-shirt that's from the '94 tour as well. Yeah. But look. I think artwork is important, and Crappy Luxury's got a great comment here. Best covers: Beano, Layla, Live Cream, Volume 1, and Nothing But the Blues. I'm certainly going to put Nothing But the Blues in my top 5 Clapton covers. I just think it's succinct, Simon. The fact that you made that archaeology back to Blue Note within that whole kind of era of what blues is fantastic. And it's as Brad said too, it's like a going back, paying homage. It's like a payback, isn't it? And he's doing it visually as well as musically.
Orally.
I saw that video.
Orally.
So
stop that.
I know we're not ranking the tracks and anything like that, but I think it's important that we all maybe mention one or two standout tracks to us and see what we're on the same path.
Yeah. Okay. Well, bro, give us a couple of your standouts. All
right. Well, for me, obviously 5 Long Years is always a really big one for me. I love the way Clapton does that. I loved Someday After a While, You'll Be Sorry. Have You Ever Loved a Woman? I love how he plays that. And I'm Tore Down. They're probably the standouts for me. And I like all the songs, but those ones for me really, I had the stereo cranked. I was really getting right into him. I was like, yeah, man. And he was playing like his life depended on it, and I love that.
Jim?
Yeah, wouldn't really disagree. Groaning the Blues for me is always a standout track. And I think it's just an immense performance there. I think the intro to Someday After a While, that's fantastic. The way he plays that slide from the 12th to the 15th fret is just powerful. And I have a big soft spot for the Bessie Smith song. It's on the DV and Blu-ray. Ain't Nobody's Business, because I think just seeing him after that as performance, standing there kind of singing just with the piano background, and then the band comes in and he plays that solo to take it out with the brass and everything. I think that's a standout track for me as well. But I generally find something in all of them to like. But if I was to pick one, to say to somebody that didn't like Eric Clapton or thought he couldn't play guitar, listen to Groaning the Blues. That would be for me, I think.
Yep. Rock Professor.
Muted, sorry. I like the 12-string on Motherless Child. I'm always a sucker for a 12-string. Mm-hmm. And he really cranks it, doesn't he? I mean, he really launches into it. I'm surprised he's in tune by the end, but he absolutely cranks into his 12-string. So hats off to whoever made that, Martin. Have You Ever Loved a Woman? I think is fantastic. I think where he stretches out and he's able, when he gets into those much more of those kind of jammy things where he's able to play and stretch out, I think they're really great. So the ones towards the end, Have You Ever Done? I'm Tore Down, Groaning the Blues, absolutely, was really great. I think I like 44 as well. I think that's got a kind of drive to it that I really liked. So I think those are probably my favourite ones. But I've really enjoyed listening to it as a piece. Really, and one goes to the next and stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, Andrew.
Look, there's a lot of consistency in the chat here with Groaning the Blues, and I've got to agree. And look at Crappy Luxury here. He's always got a, would have been better with a Firebird. We know what he means there, ladies and gentlemen. Groaning the Blues is, to use again Derek's comment, is exceptional. It's an exceptional track. Reconsider, baby. I just love that track. I always have, Brad. When I first heard the Cradle, from the Cradle, it was just, I just think it's just fantastic. And I'm going to give my my third little nod again. I'm going to back up the Rock Professor there. Motherless Child, when that was released as the lead single here back when From the Cradle came out, and that was on Radio Song, and I'm going, wow, I love it, and I think the fact that he's playing that in an open chord with that 12 string, it's phenomenal, Simon. So I'm going to back you up on that, and he's thrashing that with his vocals as well. Great song. Good band song. Love the way that the bass comes in on that song. The way the bass comes in, oh, love it. But boy, are we going to have a cracker show when we go through and do the DVD. Boy.
Can I just throw one more in? Every Day I Have the Blues, I think, is fantastic. Stratospheric playing at the end of that, just amazing.
What did you think of the of his version of Crossroads?
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's like, I thought it was going to be. I thought it was Willie in the hand jive to start. Singing.
Yeah. I think that didn't maybe quite work for me. I mean, he did that for quite a few years that way, but it is that sort of riff that the Willie and the hand jive riff. So I think it's okay. It's not, it's not bad, but don't know why he didn't go with the other. That maybe he thought that was too familiar. I don't know. Do something.
Derek's got an interesting comment there that Eric doesn't play 12-string much on this package here. The balcony sessions, he's playing a couple of 12-string numbers on here, and in particular, I think he's playing the Man of the World is on a 12-string, I think, and Golden Ring. So, but yeah, we're going to do this one too, Brad, at some stage. Holy cow! And who was that guy that said, when are you guys gonna, you guys gonna run out of albums to do soon?
Not that soon.
There's plenty to go around.
Absolutely, yeah.
Guys, I think we've had a bit of fun. I'm going to just give my little bit of a conclusion. I like I've mentioned many times already on the stream. I'm looking forward to us coming back and digesting the DVD. And again, guys in the chat and girls in the chat, if you want to be part of that, go and get the Blu-ray version and or the DVD version and have a look, watch it. You won't be disappointed. It's sad that they haven't, Brad, made it available for a digital download like a lot of Clapton's gigs are. His 75 gig, and there's a few other items that you can download from Apple. But that may change. It may change because people like to stream that kind of stuff now too. So if there is one criticism I have, Brad, Simon, and Jim, about the package, they haven't made that available for digital download. Brad.
That would be great. I mean, if I had digital download, I would have watched it already. You know what I mean? So at the moment, I'm still waiting for my DVD to arrive here in Australia, and it's probably nothing to do with the Eric Clapton team or anything like that. It's got to do with parcels getting here. I'm getting deliveries for other people to my house all the time. Like, it's the postage, they can't cope at the moment. So
what are you, the Melbourne Post Office?
I'm telling you, they're up the pooper at the moment. They're not my good books, but so if it was for digital download, I probably would have watched it by now. So I have to agree, Andrew. But the package, in my opinion, from what I've seen and what Jim's shown, I would probably shout myself the complete package box set if I could get my hands on one at a reasonable price, and frame a couple of the pictures up like you have, Jim. And as a Clapton nut, it's one of these things where I think we should be really grateful that we've finally got this package, even though it's what should have been done at least released in '95. So better late than never. But 1995 to now is a long time, but at least we've got it. Yep. And again, hopefully this is encouraging, Eric, when you watch this back, to go back and give us more 24 Nights stuff. And even earlier than that, give us more Cream stuff. Give us more any era that you feel the need to give us quality material from, please do.
We'll take it. Rock Professor, before you give us your final concluding remarks, I think it was also interesting, too, folks, that Brad gave us that interesting discussion and, pointed out the differences between remastering and remixing and how and why that's done. So we'll probably, when we go back and do the rankings and the introduction, we'll have a little bit more information, Brad, on that and as it pertains to this package maybe, and just geek out a little bit on that, but thank you, bro, for that elaboration, because I certainly want to back Brad up. I think from what I've heard, they've made it, Simon, they've put a lot of emphasis and effort into the vinyl, which is not surprising now because where vinyl is going. Simon.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I've had an album mastered by the great George Peckham, Porcupine Cuts. I've sat in a room while he did it. So
Wow.
there.
No.
Yeah, no, he said no. So I understand what you were talking about EQing it while you're cutting it and stuff, and yeah.
Wow.
My friend Gerald and I sat in a room while he did an album, so that's very cool.
Yeah,
way back when. I think yes. The one, can I say? I've got a few questions from this. One is, do you think it should have been 17 songs long? Do you think you get something different out of it by cutting it down to 10 or 12 songs? Don't stop shaking your head, Andrew. It's not for answering now. The other thing that annoys me is you put 17 songs on the CD, 18 songs on the DVD, 21. It's like, can you put the same set of songs on everything? That's annoying. To me, that's annoying.
That is.
It's like,
that's a pet hate when bands do that. I understand why they do it, but it's a pet hate.
Well, I don't.
I think it comes down to the foldies. Foldies. It's a business, Simon.
In fairness, it may come down to the fact that I can't remember that they might have only been able to get 17 songs on the CD because it's 17 minutes or so. I don't know. That's the thing. But in general, that annoys me.
Simon, I agree, but they like Andrew said, they're after the people where, what's that saying? My money don't jiggle, it folds.
Jim. They're after Jim. Buys everything.
A good point, and it's a good point. Yes. And that's what we love. We love the Rock Professor because he gives us good points.
Yeah, but other than that, I've really enjoyed listening to it. I think it's been really great, and I did what Derek did really, which is just put it on and listen to it, for what it is, and not. I'm nowhere near the audio file clearly. I didn't notice any of the cymbal splashes and stuff and all those things. I just was going, that sounds really good. He's singing really well, and it's, I like the guitar solos, and I think he's, back in his happy place, stretching it out, so I'm happy for him because I think it's good. Oh yeah, I think it's a really good. I've really enjoyed listening to it. I'll continue to listen to it.
Yeah. Awesome. So guys, we're going to be back. We should have done a show last week with Hoss, but he got pulled away to a last minute rehearsal, didn't he, Brad, for a gig that they had to do, and then Brad got the Rona. So we're due to come back on Wednesday on the channel with the long-awaited catch-up with Hoss. So we look forward to doing that. That's still dedicated for us. And we're going to talk about something that we probably should talk about off air, but I'm going to talk about it on air with everybody. Who's got the pick for that?
I was going to say,
no, there's nothing like that. No. I gotcha. Who's picking the album for next week? I picked.
I've got completely lost about where we are. But who did you pick?
It's
another
you.
ticket?
It's you, Rock Professor. Because I think it's you.
Ooh, right. Okay. Cool.
I think it's the Rock Professor. I think it is. But usual story, guys. If you want to find out what album we're ranking next week, I'm going to flick up. Or on the bottom there, you'll see Brad's Instagram. Easy. Brad Cook Music, Rock Professor, Simon Williams 33, and we'll release the album there. Oh, gosh, that sounds so official, doesn't it? We'll release the album. We'll really.
Don't forget to check out. Is it at the 5150 show, Andrew? Yours, the Instagram.
Yeah.
Well,
so if people want to find me, they can find me on your guys.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Yeah, and do everyone a favor and go and look, Jim up Jazz Thunder 50 on YouTube.
Yeah. On our community page, go and give everybody, please, a subscription to our channels page. And Brad, we keep saying it too. If you guys want to be on there, let me know. Let Brad know. Let Jim know. Let the Rock Professor know. And we'll put you on there because that's the least we can do. It's been wonderful hanging out with you guys. You've certainly given me, guys, some thoughts and some ideas where to go from here as far as where we're going to be going with ranking the tracks, Brad, Simon and Jim. So I think you've certainly done your job as far as that's concerned. So well done, guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
Jim, have you got any final words on the package? You're a man that's just extremely happy to have it, aren't you?
Yeah, I think you just comments on audiophile experiences. I don't think the intention of Chicago Blues was to be an audiophile experience. It was meant to be that. So I guess that's what it comes down to a little bit. But yeah, I enjoy it. I've enjoyed it enormously, and glad to have I've got some unofficial releases, but I'm pleased to have the official release as well. So I'll leave it at that, I think.
Well, yeah. Who knows where it could end up as far as sales and awards, Brad. It could be. Who knows? Who knows what it could do for Clapton when it comes to that awards season? Could be a nice little surprise for him.
Yeah, be good for the Blues anyway, regardless.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Look. Yeah. Rock Professor, we're gonna leave it on that one. Do you want to say goodbye to everybody? Good for the Blues.
Say goodbye to everyone in the chat. Yes. So, thanks to Ellen, Helene O'Hara, Crappy Luxury, Gret Zeppelin, Hugh Caldwell, Derek Clapton. Thanks, Derek, for all your great comments. And then Derek, Crappy, Nelson Rodriguez, of course. Thanks, Nelson, for being here. Robert Ranford for popping in. Enjoy it on the replay, Robert. Hugh Caldwell, we had earlier on. Going back up. Jim, Jazz Thunder 50. Johnny Heartbreaker, of course. Johnny, thanks, Johnny, for dropping by. Johnny Bean. Who else? John ZD 351. Thanks, John, for dropping by. Good to see you. Hope you're good. Jimmy Ray Hawkins. Sorry, guys. Quentin James, of course. Quentin. Hi, Quentin. Thanks for dropping by. Tim Thomas, of course. Tim Thomas. And I think that's probably everyone. I've got back to the top. And that's where we are. So thanks all for joining. Good to see you all. And we'll see you next week for something else. Take care all. Have a safe week. And we'll see you next week. Wednesday. Yeah. Yeah, man.